Hey horror fans, thanks for joining me for this review of Smiley Face Killers. Alright, killing with a smile on your face, having a good time, I guess. Alright, cast and crew information down below as usual, and let's get into the IMDb plot to get this started. About a handsome young soccer player, Jake Graham, who believes he is going insane, unable to shake the feeling of being stalked by somebody. Alright, very simple there. So I guess we're going to have a little bit of explaining to do here to kick things off. Newer movie, I kind of missed it right when it dropped. But now it's on Amazon. I'm kind of surprised it got on Amazon so quickly, but I'm happy it's there, so I got a chance to check it out. I think this one, with the title it has and with the poster it has, sometimes I talk about scrolling through Amazon and seeing things and making it easy to click on. This is certainly it. I knew a little bit about this film already. So I was definitely interested as soon as I found out that it was on Amazon and saw it there. But if you're just kind of scrolling through, it makes it very easy that you're going to want to click on this. So obviously if you're listening to this, you may want to know whether it is really worth it to click on this, and we'll find out here soon. But the poster kind of reminded me of Tragedy Girls. I don't know if you guys saw that a couple of years ago. Kind of similar face going on there. They had the mask, kind of looked like the Purge mask, but they made them kind of glow. And whether you knew anything about the movie or not, and as soon as you saw that, it kind of piqued your interest. So I think that's kind of to start here. And that movie's terrific, by the way, so if you haven't seen that one, definitely check that out. So what do we have here? So here, you have a lot of time early on with Jake, and I'm not sure the exact amount of time, maybe half the film, it seemed like. It's a large portion of the beginning, at least to say. You're going to get to learn about who Jake is, some of his friends, some of his people that you think are his friends and maybe not. Or at least you're going to see him think that they are, but maybe they're not. You're going to see him battle, like they say. He is has some issues. He certainly does, and it's kind of compounded by the people around him. He has a girlfriend in this movie, and she wants to help. She's portrayed, especially early on, being very concerned about him. But then he kind of, one of the things that kind of doesn't help is he sees her kind of talking to another guy, and I think there was a previous relationship, if I remember correctly, between them, and jealousy kind of comes into the fold. So he already has some issues, already has some thoughts about this and that. Jealousy strikes, and when it does, he kind of makes an ass of himself and gets in a fight, and not really putting himself in good position here with some people, especially a girlfriend who at first seemed like she really cared about him, but as that kind of unfolds, that kind of makes her take a step back a little bit. You see him talk to another friend and someone who you kind of get off as this, hey, this guy's seems like a true friend of his. But Jake is obviously struggling. You're going to see his struggles. You're going to see him looking around, thinking somebody's following him. He's not sure. It's going to be kind of suspicious at the beginning because he's supposed to be in a house with a roommate, and you don't see the roommate early on, so you're kind of wondering what the hell is happening in that respect. But you'll eventually do, and then you're going to kind of wonder what their relationship is. You kind of get the hint that even though they're rooming in the same place, that maybe they're not the best of friends. Um, and then to the creepiness of here is you're gonna find out that, and I'm gonna be spoiler free, as I talk about further in this movie, as spoiler free as I can be. Uh, but early on, you're gonna see that there is someone else in this house, and again, it kind of makes it easy that his roommate is not there, so this other person can kind of be there. Um, what they're doing, why they're doing it, and so forth. You're not gonna know, and you're not even gonna know. Is it really real or is it fake? Because of the issues that Jake has, you really are gonna be a little bit off guard by what is happening in this house while he's away. When he comes back, things aren't left in the same way. It's kind of further confusing him. So there's just a lot of early on in this movie, trying to paint him as having issues, and thinking things are going to happen and so forth. They do cut away to these videos where people kind of comment on him. Kind of think of it as one of the ways, and I'll kind of expand on this a little bit when I get closer to talking about the back half of the movie. But kind of think of it as maybe some of these videos, like if you were watching Dateline or 2020, where someone has disappeared, or they're kind of setting that up, or someone has died, or whatever, and they're interviewing people about that person. So you get those kind of interviews, and you get them from time to time sprinkled in along the way, talking about Jake, and it's just further evidence of him, and kind of more of how these people view him. So it's just a lot going on there early on to kind of set the stage. So it might be a little bit frustrating as you go through this, because you kind of want them to get to the horror, to get to hey, you've come to see these so-called smiley face killers, or they're killing, with the title like that, you want to see some killing, and that's not going to happen right off the bat. You're going to have to be patient, and they're going to do a lot of building of Jake, his character, or a lot of tearing him down, basically. So a lot of that is going to go on, and some conflict there. When it does get to these moments, and as we start to swing towards the second half of this movie, it is going to get a little bit easier to watch if that's what you're looking for. The killers in this movie are brutal. They are serious. They're not messing around, and they're definitely they have whatever they have planned. They're gonna go for it. So you're gonna see the first death, and you're gonna be like, okay. And then as this kind of stumbles on, basically, like I said, he is being stalked. I'm trying to determine, how to be spoiler free, or so. I'm trying to be as spoiler free as possible, but you will find out that he is being watched and followed by somebody, and I don't think that's total shocker here. Obviously, we have to have somebody doing the killings and so forth here, but he is eventually caught, and then in the process of that, that kind of kicks off a series of other deaths that come because of that, and I think you'll see that the killers here are brutal, and you're gonna enjoy it. I mean, if that's what you've come to look for in this movie. What you might be disappointed in is that it's kind of narrowed solely down on Jake. If you kind of expected this to be more from the killer's perspective, and maybe something where the killer was hunting a whole group of teens, which we kind of gotten used to, and that might be what you expect going into this movie, but that's not what you're going to get. Again, you're going to get a lot of Jake, a lot of what he's going through, a lot of why he's tormented, sprinkled in with somebody's watching him, what is going on, and then when they capture him, most of the deaths that are happening because of them capturing him and him trying to escape and what kind of happens there. It's not like they went out and, they've captured him and all his friends and are killing them all. So it's not one of those kind of movies. It's basically a picture of time, and apparently these killers, they kind of paint it as they've done this before, they're doing it for a reason. You're going to see the smiley faces come into play, and this is just one event here. So to me, I think that yeah, and the killings that you got and you see here, it's good, but the disappointment is that you don't get more, and the disappointment is that it's so honed in on one. Yeah, you can flip that around and credit the movie for maybe sticking to one individual, doing one individual, and kind of giving you that moment in time, as opposed to doing what everybody else does and sets you up with multiple teens and just killing them all. But someone who's born here of 80s horror, you kind of get used to that, and that's what you want to see. So, especially when you see some good deaths later on, you kind of say, hey, well, it would have been nice to see you kill some of his friends too. But again, that doesn't happen. So that is the disappointment there. I don't know whether they were trying to really push, maybe the mental aspect, and they want to make some points about that. And that's why they spent so much time on it early on. So that kind of takes it away. I'm not going to say, kind of what happens after they capture him. Obviously, you're going to see him, as I mentioned, try to escape, and things are going to happen because of that. But you are going to learn a little bit about these killers, but I think they leave some room for interpretation, room for craziness. They're going to leave you with a creepy ending. And so, this one is a little bit of a tough one. I think it's satisfying to a point, but I think you're going to maybe want more, especially, again, like I said, with the poster, the name, and everything that you might expect just from the title and the poster. That might raise your expectations, even if you have no clue what this movie is about. And you may want a higher death count because you're expecting, with killers in the title, you want a lot of deaths, and you're not going to get that. Had this been maybe, even if they had wanted to do, the point is that these killers are focusing on one person. They're not really out to get another group. But had maybe this movie been more of, maybe slanted, kind of like an anthology where, Jake is one, and then they, whatever happens there, and then they have others, and they kind of showed you those. Maybe that might have filled some of that, void. Again, maybe this wasn't budgeted so they could do that, and they had to do one story. I don't know. But I think you guys get the point here. I think, it's a good movie. The acting was fine. Like I said, the death scenes were good. I think it's just gonna leave you with wanting more, and obviously you might want to know more about the killers, but I think that was the point. They didn't want to give you everything. I think they kind of give you some things and let you assume from there. But yeah, I think, I think I'm going to end up giving it 2.5 pools of blood, just because it gave me enough to like it, but I just wanted so much more that, I have to kind of split it down the middle. And so, again, this is going to be 2.5, and I should say this more often for the people on the video reviews. 2.5 out of 5. Again, worth watching. Enjoy the film. But I think if you're someone like me who's watching because of the kills and so forth, you're going to want a little more out of that. But they do a good job with what they do, and they give you. So yeah, 2.5 pools of blood for this one. Whether that gives you a smiley face or not, I don't know. But as usual, we'll wrap this up with horrorscorereviews.blogspot.com, where you can find more reviews, especially written ones. The video reviews are there as well. But if you're looking for some written reviews, you can find me there with plenty of reviews there. And subscribe to this channel if you're just interested in the video reviews. But I'm probably going to miss out on some other things if visit the blog. Twitter, Facebook information down below as well. Hit me up there. You want to talk about horror, you want to talk about this movie, other movies. If you want to reach out to me for a review, that's a great place to do it. And yeah, you can comment on the comment section of this movie if you've seen it, what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it, or if you just want to reach out to me there about other things as well. So with all that said, and whether you're smiling or not, I'm moving on to the next review. So I'll catch you later, horror fans.